Hello, good morning, happy Monday. Hope that you're all doing good and had a good weekend. Um, actually, once again, remember to unmute today, so that's a good thing. Okay, so we're working on the project today. So definitely want to work on a project over the previous one because that was done in Axum 0.5. 0.6 changes things a little bit, and we want to sort of put it together with that. Now, previous times I've done the project all to like sort of just like normal live streaming where it's just really long videos, but I gotten some feedback that those are really hard to look through. It's pretty jarring change from the time that I have with uh, the rest of the course, which are sort of short and tightly focused videos. So we think that we want to do the same thing here is just try to do the short tightly focused but still part of the project. Which means today is probably going to be about preparing for recording those. Basically, getting the first setup um, and then going from there. Now I have, let's see, this is routing. So I want to add, I have this project solution in here, and we have like a brand new, project which includes everything. I think that I just want to delete that, don't I? Okay. Then I wonder if I can add both data and routing back. Maybe REST Analyzer will be happier now. Okay, let's more back. We'll go ahead and delete you. These are all under project solution, right? Yes. Okay, come on. I guess if I want to do a true reset of the project solution, I'll also let's make sure there's no new version of Rust. So we're at 165. We'll do a new project solution. Yeah, I think that'll be it. Project solution. So you're at stage, and then we have these new changes. And if we come into project solution, we can use cargo watch. Okay, and technically we have our hello world. So that's good. So let's add this in here, and we'll have resetting project solution. It's literally a hello world Rust project now. I'll push that up. Doesn't really matter. Okay, I also want to start. We'll probably show starting the back end, which will be the Docker command, and then I guess we want to get to a point where we can begin working on the. Want to get to the point where we can begin working on the tests. So we want to start running the tests too. Oh, which, if I remember correctly, we have to set up ports for that. Where do they live? I probably want to add the tests in here. Let's add in project solution. So I may not need these. Remove. I want to add in the backend integration tests. Now this is using Node.js. I've done an install on this previously. I'm currently using the latest long-term support versions. That's version 18, I believe. So that's npm install. Yeah, no new changes. npm test. Oh yeah. So as part of test, I have it source this .env file for finding my local stuff and then running the test right away. Okay, connection refused. It's trying to go to port 3000, which is fine. What port? I think that's what Axum goes to by default. Okay, so out of curiosity, if we come back to here and if we do a cargo Axum, I know we're gonna want headers, but I guess it doesn't matter for specifically right now. I'm just doing a test. Project solution. Okay, so we have that. What did we? Oh, right. We have to set up. We have to set up Tokyo too, which I have Tokyo there. I don't. Can I get Tokyo? No, it doesn't re-export it. Okay, so if I remember correctly, we need macros and RT multi-thread, I think. Oh yeah. So I've added macros and the RT multi-thread in the past. Okay, so I think it's I constantly forget how to do that thing. Oh, and they have a book, don't they? That's it. Tokyo, Maine. I should probably just go and find it from there. Okay, so the Tokyo main, this now needs to be an async function. You're fine as a hello world then, and then we're gonna go to Axum. And look through their example of how to set up things. So we create a new router. Okay, we create a new router, we create a new socket address, and then that serves it. Okay, so you need import router, import you. For you, I can just be a maybe you'll just like hello. Startup builder, hello. Uh, what am I building today? I am preparing to work on the project for the Axum course we've been working on. So I want to just double check that by default it goes okay. Yeah, then we set what the port is going to be. So then this should work. This should work. And then all right. So why are you upset? Async closures are unstable. Oh, right. It has to be a block. It's something like this. Where is... Oh, they just define this as a function down here. Never mind. Just like that. That's fine. I don't want more stuff. Run the server. This is fine too. I'm not using tracing right now. UN import probably a Tokyo. Is that a socket address? Oh no, that's a standard net. Okay, that one. Oh, we're good to go. And so then if I come back to here and we rerun the tests again, instead of getting an error connection refused, we should get, yep, there we go, status code 404. So couldn't find them, which is exactly what I want to see. And then it's going to be going for all of these things in order. So I guess the first one is going to be user CRUD, right? Or, first one just going to be this setup. So like setting this up. Okay, so close you. Okay, so introduce the project probably. I don't know if it's setting up the database, but maybe like setting up like hello world. Hello world with tests. And then we'll go from there. Which I believe is going to be just from top to bottom. So we'll just do startup, sign up. Okay, so then you get added in, you all get reset. Created plan for project. Okay. Oh, you're probably very unhappy about that. Project solution does still exist. I guess it wasn't that unhappy. All right, backend tests. And then more project solution here. That's fine. Okay. Probably want to introduce where the backend tests are, which means, probably coming in here. So okay. We'll basically show this off. I don't even have the database spun up with Docker yet, which is absolutely not required. Okay, I think we're good to go. Oh, and I probably want to close these off so it'll show me finding them. Okay, that is ready. And I guess we'll begin by introducing we introduce what the project is. So it's a Hello World project, um, and what the we introduce the tests. I guess we introduce the tests for it. And is there anything else that we want to do? I guess I also do want to show off starting the backend server with Docker, which would be using this Docker Compose here. So if I bat the Docker Compose file, we can see, okay, we have this database. This is what's really important for us. It does not have a profile. If we wanted to start up the Node.js Express server to sort of experiment around with it, use any of those. And that's kind of it. Okay. I don't have anything else. So let's I think this will be a short video, and then we'll get on to the hello world with the tests. So let's introduce this. Okay. So if you haven't seen my videos, like when I'm recording before, nothing really changes on your end, except I do sometimes not respond to chat quickly because this is a YouTube video and we're pretending to, just to record it only for them. If I miss something or if you have a question for it that you think clarification would be good, or you just want more information, ask the question away. I will see it. I do see the chat. And then if I can work it away, and I'll figure out how to do that. Otherwise, I'll answer them immediately after I finish recording. And these are all very short and tightly focused videos. So uh, we'll be done after not too long. All right, here we go. Congratulations on finishing the main part of the course. We now know how to use Axum with routes and data, and to create users, and with some authentication with security too. Uh, but we have one last part of this project, which is a project for the entire course. Now, the rest of these videos that I'm going to be making are going to be for the project solution. There might be some other addendum videos that happen afterwards or during. Those will be before the project in the entire sort of like list of videos. Okay, so the project. The project is going to be a to-do application that we already have sort of written out. If you've taken the Introduction to U course, it's the same exact backend, except now it's going to be in Axum instead of Express. So let's go ahead and see about getting started with any of the things that we need. Well, to show you where the backend sort of exists right now, if in the root of our project, we can see we have backend, we have a Docker Compose file, and then we have this sort of database section, and of course the integrated tests, which are going to be really important for us. The Docker Compose file is what we're going to use to spin up a database for ourselves. And we've probably already done that for the data section, but I'm going to re-go over it just in case we either forgot or we're skipping the data section and going straight to the project. So if I bat the Docker Compose, all we're going to have to do here is do a Docker Compose up, and the database will start up because there's no profile on this one. Every other service in here has a profile on it. So if you, for example, want to spin up the Node.js Express application that we're replacing, you just need to use the Node.js Express profile, for example. That does run on port 3000, so we will not be able to run the Node.js Express and our app on the same port. So just be aware, I'm going to be running on port 3000. If you're following along and you want both of them up at the same time, you'll have to choose a different port for either Node.js by updating this, where is it? Updating this number, or update the server on your side, and then you have to update the test. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this started now. So we're going to do a Docker Compose up. I want this to run in the background, and I want this to wait until it's healthy. So let's go ahead and get that going. This does take a little bit of time the first time you run it because it has to spin up the database and seed it. For me, this should take a little bit less time because the database has already been created and the volume already has all the data inside of it, so it doesn't need to seed and run the migrations. Okay, so we have a healthy database here. Running the tests. If we notice, we have an integration tests folder here. So if we cd into integration tests, we have the backend and the front end tests. This time we're going to go into backend tests, and we have a Node.js project. So this is using Jest behind the scenes, and then basically just Axios to hit our API. It doesn't care what this what technology is being used. So these tests work equally well with the Express API and also our Axum API that we're going to be creating. I've gone ahead and pulled the backend test folder into my project workspace here, so that way I can just easily reference it if necessary. If we click into it, there's only one test file, everything just sort of in here. And then we would be, for example, looking through, okay, well, to do API, we have user CRUD. We want to do a signup. And so here's where like the full test code for how signup is going to happen, where it's going to hit our server at this URL and pass it a user. It's going to expect the response to have certain data in it. It's going to then actually check to make sure it's logged in, check, expect that certain things are in the database for us. So it's actually going to check the database to make sure that we did things correct. Like, for example, it's going to expect that the password is not the same as the password passed in. So it's not plain text, it has to be hashed. And then it's going to do a bcrypt compare. So we do have to use bcrypt for this project, simply because I wrote that into the test. Okay, and I think that's everything we need to prepare for it. So in the next video, we're going to do the sort of set up a hello world, and then I guess like get going with the first test. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to going through the project with you. Bye. Okay. Also, okay, so this is like introduction to the project. That is done. All right, what's next? Jorgi, hello. You feel like you're on a set of some kind of TV production? Oh, like I guess that kind of makes sense, right? Um, it's like we're like okay, we're doing some we're doing the recording now. Everybody quiet on the set, except you don't have to be quiet at all because you're not actually here. Uh, it'd be funny. Like I should put like like have a little applause uh thing that shows up on your screen that's um not on the stream. Maybe I don't know. I don't think applause works with this. Maybe a laugh track. Okay, hello world with the test. We're gonna get a hello world going up, and we're going to start running the tests, and so like the super short videos. I probably could have put the hello world in tests as part of the introduction too. Uh, that was like maybe shorter than I expected. Okay, but this will be good. So I'll probably start running the tests first. We're gonna do very test driven development with this one because they're already there. Okay, so we have their backend test here. We have a project solution here. I guess I'm gonna start with completely removing project solution. So remove you. Okay. Preparing for. Okay, you're unhappy because I just deleted you. Okay, we should be good to go. All right, so we're going to start with uh, hello world with run the test with hello world. And here we go. All right, step one for this project, we're gonna get our tests up and running, and then we're gonna create a hello world Axum server. So instead of server not running, it gets at least 404 errors. Uh, we're gonna start by running the test first and do this very sort of test-driven way. So I am CD'd into the backend test here. I do have Node version 18 installed, and I did an npm install inside of this directory. So I can now run just npm test, and we're getting this e connection refused for all of these tests. There is also a oh, you know what? Totally forgot. Need to remember. There's a .env file that I need to get everybody using. Which means I need to check to see what is in that .env file. I don't think it's anything bad. Builds, stack. Let's see. This is an integration test, backend. Okay, so it has API port, API URL, URI, jot secret, and the DB connection, which is all just localhost staff. Okay, perfect. So I can, do we have, so I have this .env here. This is what it has. I want to copy .env. Actually, I probably want to move. So move .env to .env example. And I'll just go ahead and leave this. I'm gonna, no, I'm gonna leave it as the misspelling because that's what I have in mind. Okay. So created env example file. Excuse me. Okay, so I want to also remove. Oh wait, I already moved it, so it doesn't exist anymore. Wait, it does exist. Didn't I move it? Yeah, I moved you. Why do you still exist? Yeah, you're there. Did I save it? I might have accidentally saved it after I moved it, and then so VS Code recreated it, which it tends to do sometimes. Okay, so with that gone, we need to create the .env file first, and then we can start. Then we can start our tests up. And okay, I think that's it. Let's try this again. All right, let's begin the project by, well, creating a Hello World app. And we're going to get the test to go from error not connected because there's no data, no backend whatsoever, to at least a 404 errors, which I think that's going to be a little bit better. So there is a little bit of preparation that we have to do. So for example, in the backend tests here, I have this .env example file, which has basically information of how the tests are going to connect to our server. So for example, they know that our server is going to be on port 3000. If we're, for example, going to do some other ports, we would need to change this here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy .env example to just .env. That way it will find the .env file appropriately. For me, these numbers are all correct. These values are all correct, and these are exactly what the backend is going to be expecting. If you make any changes, you may have to make appropriate changes here as well. Okay, so if we have this, I've already previously installed everything with an npm install, and I am running node version 18. So I'm going to do an npm test, which then loads the content of the env into memory and then, well, runs the jest tests. And we get these error connection refused for pretty much every single test here, which is not very surprising because we have no server yet. So I'm going to go ahead and open up another terminal. So I'm in integration test. I want to be there. This integration. This is also integration. Okay, let's head back out one. So I want to go into backend, Rust, Axum. Okay, so we have lessons there. I'm going to create this as a project solution right here. So we're going to do a cargo. Well, I always like to make sure I'm on the latest version of Rust before I do this. So we're going to do a Rust update. and I am on the latest version, which is 1.65 as of this recording. So we're going to do a cargo new project solution. Okay, it creates a binary application, project solution. I'm going to go ahead and add this to my workspace here. So this is backend, Rest, project solution. There we go. We don't have very much. It's just this hello world. So if I do a cd into project solution, cargo run, well, it's not really anything, is it? So let's go ahead and, well, what's the first things we need? We absolutely need to have Axum, and then we also need Tokyo because we need to use that Tokyo main thing on the main function. So let's go ahead and we'll do a cargo add Axum. And looking through here's, I'm not gonna necessarily worry about this yet. If we need more stuff, we'll add these in as necessary. And then I want to add in Tokyo, which when we did this in the routing section, I remember us needing the RT multi-thread and the macros. So let's go ahead and add those in. So I'm gonna copy you. So -f macros and -f RT multi-thread. Okay, if we need more, we'll come in and add more to it as well. Okay, so step one, we need to set up this main function so that we can well actually use it with Tokyo. My favorite way to sort of go in and look through this is to create a new Firefox window and just go search for it. So let's go to crates. We'll go to Tokyo. Open up this here. They have a website which is a really nice guide for how to get started with Tokyo. So I just want to do a hello Tokyo here, and just look. This is what it is. So it's Tokyo main, and then we can do this async main there. Okay, so that's what I want. So Tokyo. Rust Analyzer is very unhappy. Let's go ahead and, failed to discover workspace. It's having a little bit of issues here. Let's see. It's project solution, I believe, is part of this this workspace. If I go down, yeah, I don't think I need anything special in here. I'm gonna go ahead and actually restart VS Code just to make sure it's working correctly. So let's quit out of view, quit VS Code, and I'm gonna open this back up again. All right, and let's see if you're gonna be any happier. It's loading, so that's a good sign. Okay, so Tokyo, want this to be main. There we go. And now we have to add an async keyword, and everything should still be happy. I should still be able to do a, so those are my backend tests. This is just Rust Axum, so I want project solution. I should be able to do a cargo run here. It compiles Tokyo, and then I should get that hello world still. Okay, I do. Next up, I want to set up a hello world for Axum. So again, we're going to go to crates, search for Axum. They don't have a nice website like Tokyo does, but they do have a nice example sort of here. So this is all for use in like the main function. I'm just going to go ahead and just take this entire thing, copy you, put you in here. Now, things that we're needing. So I don't have tracing installed. So I'm going to go ahead and remove tracing. We have our app router. I don't need like the second route. I just want to do this like hello world here. So semicolon U. Okay, so we have our second address. We're going to go to localhost port 3000. Okay, that's good. I don't need the tracing stuff here. Axum server bind. Okay, into make service. Here's our root, and then I don't need this. We're going to be doing different stuff. I just want the hello world part. And don't need you. Okay, so if I hit save, we don't have CERTA yet. That's fine. Lots of things that we don't really need in here, but we're going to be moving everything into the main library right after this. So let's go ahead and run this. So cargo run. Okay, so this is running. It didn't quit yet, so it should be running the entire service. And if I rerun the test, yeah, now we're getting 404 errors instead of error not connected. So that's a good sign. Now everything is still failing, so not that surprising. So let's refactor this into the basic sort of setup that we want. You know, that's going to make it easier in our lives because we want to write the entire app inside of main. So I like to have the main sort of starting stuff happen in lib.rs, and then let's see what we're going to do. So we're going to have as Tokyo main. I really just want to be able to run from main to lib, and then it will do its stuff. Okay, so that app, router new. I do like the idea of creating a router in its own file. So I'm going to create a router rs, and we're going to mod router. We are going to take this creation of the router and we're going to put that in there. Okay, so that means I want a new function. So I want a pub function, I guess like create router. I'm not taking in anything yet, and we're going to return a router. And I don't need that let app equals. I'm going to take both of you and pay all of you and go down. Okay, so that's happy. We have this route path with a method get route. Well, so this is where we have our routes, right? So let's create a new folder, do routes. And then we're going to put in our routes into here. So we have a hello world. So we need a mod.rs and then also a hello world. .rs, which I might get rid of because I don't remember if I need anything like a hello world on slash. Okay, so I need library. We're going to mod routes. We're going to pub mod hello world. We're going to create a pub async function hello world that just returns maybe like, actually it doesn't have to return anything at all. Just a 200 is fine. And I want to come back into our router and I want to be able to use that route here. So I want hello world like that and remove the call to it. Okay, that's good. We are no semicolon, so we return it and we want to pull in get. Okay, so you're fine and happy here. Okay, so we have this create router. So in my main libraries, let's see what's next. We have, I guess I want to create the router because then we're going to use that in this app make service. Okay, so here I want a function run for you. We do need an await when we create the service. So we're going to do a pub async function run. I don't know if this is going to return anything. We're going to do let router. I guess this is just let app equals create router. Okay, so that creates that. We do also need to create the socket address and then start you up. I'll do that. Okay, we should create the address here. I like just uh, full words for my variables. Okay, so there's that Axum server bind. Okay, so a reference to address. We serve the app into make service. That should be happy. Oh, we need to pull in socket adder, which is from standard net. And we await and then unwrap this. Now this will cause it to crash in case that there's a failure, but then we should get a good error message in that case. Okay, so you're happy, and then finally we need to run this run function. So I don't need that root anymore. I'm gonna take you out, and we're gonna run. I need to use that. So we're going to use, now the name of this project is project solution. So let's pull in project solution run and we can run. Let's await that and then semicolon. And I think we're good to go. I think we've still got everything up and running. I'm going to come back to project solution and we're going to use cargo, no, sorry. Yeah, cargo watch. So cargo watch, X run on this. It should still be up and running. I should be able to open up Thunder Client. I'm going to create a new collection for this, which we're going to call, I guess, like project. Maybe I'll call this like to-do API. And we'll create a brand new request. This is going to be, I guess, like hello world. So I want to get to HTTP // localhost port 3000. I think that's going to be it for that. And we should get a 200 OK. Excellent. If I went to anything else, like hello, that would give me the 404 not found. Okay. So that's good. And if we come back to here and we run the tests, we should still at least get the 404s. Okay, excellent. So I think we're getting close to being able to handle and like started working on these tests proper. Now, of course, we're gonna have let's see, our first sort of grouping is gonna be user stuff. So that we still have some like database things to take care of. But that's going to be in the next video. So thank you so much for watching and see you then. Bye. All right. So that's spinning up the app. So what like hello world. So do I want to call this like hello world project solution or project solution hello world? Project solution hello world. Okay, setting. Let's also commit all these things. Okay, so we have created hello world Axum API. Okay, now we have a database up and running. I guess the next thing would be connect to the database. Oh, we probably need to. We've already installed CORM. There's a. Let's go into. There we go. I think so. I think I have. Yeah, CORM. I already have this previously stored in my history. So I have CORM, CLI, generate entity, and then put that into a database like this. And I think, oh, we need a .env file to this because if I try to run this right now, it should completely fail because we're missing database URL, which I think is the full. That's the full database connection string, I believe. So it's not just the location of the database, it's the database with the username, the password, and everything else. Okay. So, um, 756 too. So I'm not going to be done with this. So I wonder if with these videos, I'm probably going to stitch them together across multiple sessions. If I still have some time to work on it, and but then I don't get finished, it sort of like makes sense to me, right? So looking at our first test, it's going to be this sign up. And it's saying, okay, for sign up. Well, I guess like we just start. Well, I want to do like that first test, like the full test done per video. So we've got like set up, we've got going. And so this one, yeah, I'll probably just do a transition. And so if it's a really long video, that's a really long video. And if it's a really short video, it's a short video. Okay. So I've got 15 minutes or so. Uh I guess we'll just start moving towards this. All right. Well, let's do I have everything set up? Yeah, I do. All right, let's start working on these tests proper. So our first failing test here is just user CRUD sign up. Request failed with status code 404. Well, let's see where they're actually trying to connect to. So I'm going to go into my backend tests, head into API tests, and so first of all, I see, okay, so to do API, user CRUD. Got a 404 because it did the sign up. It did a post. This probably is what got the 404. It goes to a base URL / users. And if I take a look at base URL here, that is whatever that API URI that we set up in. So that's HTTP : / localhost port 3000. And then API v1 / users. Okay, so I do have to add in an API v1 and then users. Okay, that's fine. So to get like past this specific error, we are going to head back to our project solution for our routes. I want where are you? Oh, router here. So I want routes. Okay, so I want route. So slash API v1 users. It also looks like they're sending a, where was that? I probably want to just keep this open. It is a post. Okay, so you can be a post. And then this is to probably like a create user or something like that. What I'm going to do is create under routes another folder. I'm going to put in users here. Mod users. Oh, I forgot to put in the mod. If I had done that, then Rust Analyzer would have found it easily. Okay. And then, so this is going to be create user, I believe. Create user, .rs. Let's pub mod create user. And okay, so it looks like I need some kind of a route handler for this. Let's create that really quickly. So this is going to be a pub async function create user. So just sort of a handler for that. We'll go back into our router and I'll use this here. So create user. All right. So at least no errors anymore. And it should technically make this part of the error go away. So let's rerun the test again. And if I head on up, there's actually something to make this a little bit nicer. If I come up here and I do I think what I can do is, do I have to do it on all the describes? Also, I can't remember. I do a test for sign up. I do an only on this. Let's see if it only runs that test or if I need to put it on the describes also. npm test. Oh, one failed, 27 skipped. Okay, perfect. So now I go straight to only doing the sign up. So this just allows me to not have to scroll back up through everything just to sort of see what's going on. So in this case, we expect to receive. Oh, okay. So it doesn't have the 404 error anymore. So it expects receive to have property path. Okay. Expect the path data. Got nothing at all. Okay, so what does that mean? So it have property data. So I guess this is line 27 here. So we get this response back and it wants the response to have a property data. So it wants this object with a data key inside of it and then probably something like a user inside of that. Well, that lets me know. Okay, so we want some kind of like response for that. It's probably going to be a response for like users in general. So I'm going to, for users in the mod here, create a pub struct, maybe like a response user. Response user. We know we want data of some kind. And I have no idea what to put in here yet. Probably a user of some kind that we care about. Let's put it just like an option boolean to like, as a hold, right? Like, right. This is a holder for this. Now to send this out, we do need, what is it? We do need Serde. So let's go ahead and add that. So these are backend tests. Here's our project solution. We can do a cargo add Serde. We also need Serde JSON. I also want to add in the derive functions. Okay. And then let's also add in Serde JSON. And I don't think I need any of those. Okay. Now we can have a derive, serialize, and deserialize. Okay, excellent. So if I have this as a response user, I'm going to come back into create user. We're going to say that this needs to respond with JSON, and I guess it's going to be that response user. There you are. Okay, so let's do the response equals, this is going to be a response user. Our data is, sure, let's just do this as a sum true. That's total. The tests are going to love this, I promise. And we're going to return with an okay. What is an okay? No, it's just a JSON. JSON response. Okay. That should be happy. So if we run our tests again, come back up to you. Okay, excellent. So we got a little bit farther, and this is sort of like how I do a lot of test-driven development, especially the tests already exist. Just make that one test pass, and then worry about the rest of it later. So that way, I don't write any code that I need to rewrite or delete or anything else. Okay, so we got a little bit farther. It's now checking something on line 585, but this looks like it's a helper function where it's checking the logged in user. So basically, we're assuming that the user that we're creating is now going to be logged in, which it looks like it's expecting us to have an ID for our user and that it actually is indeed something. So now it looks like we're going to have to get into actually setting up the database. Now, we already have the CORM CLI set up, so I should be able to just use that same command to connect to our database. So what was that? It was a CORM CLI generate entity, put into source database. I'm fine with all of this. If I hit that though, right, we're missing the database URL, which means we need a .env file somewhere in here. So I need to touch.env. It needs a database URL. Here's this .env. Oh no, that's the backend test one. Here is this .env. So on database URL equals, I'm actually going to go and steal the one from this. So this DB connection, that's what I care about. So I'm going to copy you and put you right in there. Let's see if this works. All right, let's run you again. Aha, there we go. So we've generated the tests, we've generated the users. Okay, everything is set up for us. We now have this database folder in the project solution with everything we need. Okay, excellent. So we should be able to actually create the user now and like figure out what a response user is going to be. Well, our response user, we now know it needs to have an ID of some kind. So I'm going to do a, this is maybe like a response user, but like I want the actual user to respond with. So we need a pub struct like user here. We know we're going to have an ID, and that's going to be an I32, I believe. If we go and take a look at in database for users, we can see, yeah, the ID is an I32. Okay, so you're going to be that. We also want to implement serialize and deserialize on this too. Derive, serialize, and deserialize. Okay, so this is all good. We want to create the new user. Well, to create the new user, we're going to need to put, okay, and also data, you need to be this user. This user here. I think I want a different name for this because when I'm using this in other files, it's going to be really easy to get confused about what exactly this user is. So maybe I want to use this as like a response object, like a user response data user. I don't know. And this is just like a response user. Naming things is hard. So you are going to be this response user. If I change my mind, I'll just come in here and just sort of like rechange these. I just want to move forward with this, so I'm not worried too much about it. I just want to make sure that these names are unique enough that I'll sort of understand what they are and won't get confused with the database user. Okay, so back to create. Okay, so this is going to be a response data user. With the data, you can't be this anymore. This has to be a user. But in order to be a user, we're going to need to actually get the users. Okay, so we have to create the user. I'm gonna do a to do in here to sort of buy us some time. All right, back to our tests again. I'm actually going to pin this. Where is the pin? I want there it is, pin. I'm just going to pin it so it's easy for me to find this again and I don't have to constantly reopen it. So the user that we're sending as part of our create is user to create. Okay, so we're going to pass in a username and a password. Okay. The password is super good, as we can see. It's just the date, but it's guaranteed to be unique. Okay, so username and password. I want. Okay, so if I'm pulling this in, I need JSON. We already have Serde and deserialize. Okay, so I need this as a request user, which is a username and password. So this is back to users mod. We want a obstruct request user. This has a username, and that is definitely going to be a string, and then a password is a string. And I might want to do this as like a request create user because some of the other ones might be slightly different. Okay, so request create user. This is good. Let's derive, serialize, and deserialize on this. We're going to head into create user here. We are going to take in a JSON. This is the, I guess this is the like request user. Type request create user. Okay. So I should have access to that now. If I want to now actually create the user, we're gonna have to create an active. What was that? That was what users. Gonna what use create database. Oh, we need to mod that. That's why we can't see it. We want to mod database. Now maybe I can use this. Okay. Users. We have model and relation. I don't have like active model. What else do I need to do to bring this in? Hints failing. So that's very unhappy with this. I wonder if I need to also pull in the, let's see, use, create, database, users. Oh, what was it? It was the active relations. So in database, we have this mod that pulls this in. That's happy. In users, I want to pull in the entity. Oh, you know what we're missing? CORM. We're missing CORM. So we need to pull this into the project. So cargo add CORM. Now, is there anything we need to add in here feature-wise? So we are using our runtime Tokyo. Let's do runtime Tokyo. SQLX Postgres is our other one. Postgres. Okay, so if I add those two in here, all right. Suddenly you're happy there. So now I should, let's see if this is any better. Okay, so I want to do, so let maybe like mute new user equals users. There we go, an active model. And we're going to want to set things on this, but if I just do active model like that, I guess we'll do in default. So that sets an active model. I can now set things on this active model. So we can do something like user dot username equals, we want to do a set. This is a string of whatever that username is. So it's going to be a request user dot username. And sure, we'll just set the password. It's going to be plain text, but I know that the tests aren't going to let us do that forever. So new user dot password set request user dot password. Okay, so if I do those two things, we're going to save this. So we want to do a new user dot save. So we need our database connection and we need everything else. I am gonna have to put a cut in here though because I'm running out of time for my day. I do these I do these recordings. I'm live streaming also with these before work. So I will have to come back to this after work. So I'm gonna put a cut in and we'll continue on next time. Okay, so stop recording for that. Yeah, I forgot. Like, we also need the database connection that we need to create. We have that .env, so we probably need to bring in .envy to pull in that database URL connection string. And then, pass that in with state, so we have access to state in here. It'll be good. Okay, but I'm gonna put this in as work in progress. This is a work in progress commit of creating the user. I think these first ones are always going to take a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and push you up and can close you all. Okay, excellent. Oh, and then I also need to remind myself that this is create user part 1. So that way, later on, when I do have create user part 2, I can like stitch them together with just like, I don't know, some kind of transition between the two. All right. But that's pretty much as I said in the video. I'm going to have to take off to my day job, go do all of that stuff. But I will be back tomorrow morning where we'll continue recording this. And we'll continue on with, I guess, getting the database set up and the database connection and creating our user. So, with that, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Hopefully, it was helpful for you. And have a great rest of your day. Bye.